History teacher Esther Arnott explains how she has planned an inquiry with her mixed ability Year 7 class and the impact it's having on motivation and learning. AST Gemma Fordyce then comments on Esther's approach.
I'm just going to show you something and you have to just watch it, okay? Well, what I've set up is a 3-week or a 6-lesson inquiry, and this inquiry is asking what can we find out from computer games about medieval warfare. Your task is to spot the objects that you've just been looking at in these pictures.
Made of metal.
I was really thrilled with how excited they were to be looking at the different computer games and seeing what history those games can teach them. Gauntlet, good man! What type of gauntlet is it?
Metal.
Are you sure? The way I've broken it down is to first of all start with the computer games, and then I get them to try and sort of nail it down a bit more about what are the elements of warfare we're seeing. Can you put the objects you've found into 3 groups?
You could study the time period, the weapons, the armour and the castles, then compare it to the game's information.
Wow, that is fantastic, Ricardo. You're going to study weapons, castles and armour and compare it to what we see in the game.
I think what Esther has demonstrated in the planning here is twofold. First of all, the example of Ricardo almost informing the planning, of telling the teacher what he thinks is going to happen, is absolutely instrumental in outstanding lessons.
You could study the time period, the weapons, the armour and the castles, then compare it to the game's information.
Wow.
They feel that the teachers are listening to them, that they're respected, that their interests are going to be incorporated into the lesson, and as a result the pupils take more responsibility for their learning.
You're going to study weapons, castles and armour and compare it...
Secondly, she's gone back and she's made it relevant to the pupils by doing it through the video games idea. She's shown she's aware of what her pupils are like and what they're interested in, but managed to make that link to her subject area. And I think this is something that could be done in every subject area, to find the interests of the pupils, and in your planning make your lessons and your objectives and the whole task and the whole project interesting to the pupils. For example, I've seen maths lessons, which isn't as popular, but a lot of the boys love basketball. As soon as they're taken outside and they have to discuss how you can get the right angle to get the right shot from different places, then without even realising they're studying maths through basketball. And there are hundreds of examples, and teachers use these examples, and the more you can use those, the more you make the lessons outstanding, and the pupils' learning absolutely flies without them even realising what they're learning.